Quite often I hear, why can't people just make an awesome homebrew game for the Jaguar that uses the 3D elements? Well, I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I do the review of Space War 2000 for the Atari Jaguar.
Second Opinion Games.
First up, I would like to say that this game is by no way finished. It has a lot of bugs, and it crashes often. So, what else about the game? Well, the menus are weird. As in, there's a lot of weird things happen in between the levels, and weird menus themselves. If you even let the game play for a long enough period of time, it'll tell you that someone by the name Anonymous, I don't know if that's his first name or last name, created this game and released it. And I don't know when, because there's not a whole lot of information out there on this game. But the game itself is super fun, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's pull back and look at those menus, because you could customize everything here. How many ships be flying at you, how strong they are, whether they be shielded, or how fast they are, with very descriptive terms like too fast, or slow, or fast enough. And I usually like to have them about fast enough, and set their armor down to fragile, because the dogfights get kind of annoying after a while. And when it comes to how many ships I want out there, I want quite a few of them. Also, the game is 2-player, so if you have a friend, well then play 2-player dogfights, or play cooperatively against the computer enemy. And the computer enemies here aren't particularly smart either. They mostly just fly directly at you, or run away, trying to loop around very slowly. They just don't have a whole lot of AI going on here, and I fully understand, because the game was made presumably by one guy. Another thing you could do if you don't have a friend around is set it on 2-player, take the second ship, turn the speed all the way down to stop using the number 1 button, and then try to defend him against attacking enemies. It kind of works and is pretty fun to play with here and there, and just a different way of playing the game. So how does the game overall play? Well, it actually plays really good as long as you're not too afraid of it crashing on you, which does happen from time to time. So every time I was working on a very high score, the game would actually crash. Also in the menus, quite often the game crashes, and you can readjust the menus after each level, but that also increases the chance of the game crashing. So just keep that in mind. Now, when you're piloting this fighter jet, the button 1 slows down, button 3 speeds up, and the A button, I'm not really quite sure what that does. The other 2 buttons fire a laser and fire a more powerful shot, which you can fire together. And I just recommend it, because the laser goes much faster, and then the slower, more powerful shot is slower, and you have to lead all the jets you're fighting against. So the chances are much higher that you'll actually hit something if you always shoot them together. Pretty much every single button on the control pad does something, even if it's just looking to the left or the right, or change the view to something that's completely unusable, or maybe even looking behind you, because you never know when an enemy is going to creep up behind you, unless of course you have the radar system and know how to use it. And this is one of the most awkward radar systems ever made in video games, so it just doesn't work the majority of the time, especially if you have it set to have asteroids and black holes and the sun there, because they're going to look like a thing. Now it's better off in the options just to set it so there is nothing, just nothing but blank space, so you could find your opponent, hunt them down in epic dogfights, and win the game. Well, kind of win the game. To my knowledge, it goes on forever, or until it crashes. Essentially, this is a high score game after all, so your time putting into this game is just to get the high score, which it saves, which is pretty awesome. However, if the game crashes when you are competing for that high score, well then you're just out of luck. Sorry about that. overall, this game is so much fun, and it's really complicated to learn, so to speak, because of using every single button. And also, there is a cloak button. So, remember when I was talking about two-player? Imagine how frustrating it would be if the other character, every single time you lined him up, pressed the cloak button. Now, just like in Star Trek, you can't actually fire when in the cloak. So there would be continuous dogfight, cat and mouse, just trying to get a lucky shot off. Also, the graphics here are pretty darn good. I actually like the character ship models. I like the way the sun is just sort of small and flat shaped. Pretty much everything here is flat in some way, shape, or form, except for the 3D model enemies and your ship itself. And overall, this is extremely impressive. Now, most people say, why can't anyone fully take advantage of the Jaguar? And does this game do that? No, heck no, it doesn't. It's really not finished, and it was made by like one person. Matter of fact, there's only like one music soundtrack in the entire game, and it plays at a very low audible level. So it's barely even noticeable. The sound effects themselves sound good, but also bland in the same way. The gameplay is tight and extremely fun, but it somewhat gets old relatively quickly, not to mention the game's just going to crash on you anyway. But with all those things considered, I am still going to buy it, and I'm still going to play it from time to time, because I actually like this kind of game. And that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. Also, if you want a game that fully takes advantage of it, make sure you play Battlesphere. Okay? Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. I had a great time making it. Space War 2000 is an extremely good game. However, Battlesphere, or Battlesphere Gold, was just so much better that this one just kind of feels like a little bit of waste. Or maybe they even use this to help make that game. I could honestly see a lot of the things that were going on here, and I fully understand if this was just a stepping stone to make Battlesphere Gold. So, if you want to see that full review, well, I already have it. Or maybe check out some of my other Jaguar reviews, because I have done, like, everything Jaguar. And until later, I'll see you again, guys.